Hey y'all, come along with me while we pot up a couple of planters here that sit on my back patio. These are new this year, so we're going to plant them up. We're actually going to use some shrubs and roses. Just as a reminder, you can pot up these kind of plants as well. It doesn't have to be just something that's a perennial or an annual. Shrubs and trees can live in pots too. So you see me starting off with a little mulch at the bottom. This is a hardwood cedar mulch, all natural, no chemicals or dyes in color. And we are going to come in with some organic Espoma garden soil. And it can be potting mix. It doesn't have to be the soil. I mistakenly bought some soil, so I am going to use the soil in these pots since these are shrubs and they are going to live in here. And then we are also going to throw in, we're going to work that in first and get that down in there. And when you use mulch, you definitely want to work the dirt in as you go along, because the pot or the soil line in your pot will shrink as the water kind of packs it together at the base of the planter that you're using there. We're going to come in with some starter fertilizer for these plants. This is the Biotone starter fertilizer. It is an organic, slow-release process. There's really not a way to overdo it unless you're using an entire bag, which I don't know why you'd want to do that, but sprinkle a good chunk in. We're going to start off with this Midnight Sun Dwarf Weigela. Now, this is a shrub. This is a proven winter shrub. This shrub is going to get 1 to 1.5 foot tall and wide. So this is a smaller shrub. And then we're going to go in with that little Miss Kim lilac. And I forgot to save the tag on that, so I can't tell you the stats, but it is, again, a small lilac or lilac. So wanting to add some of these shrubs to my landscape, and here is a quart size rose that I had ordered from Proven Winners. Now this is called Reminiscent Ginger. I believe this is a new one for next year, and they had some smaller size, so I went ahead and got that. And this gets 2 to 3 foot tall and 3 to 4 foot wide. And obviously that's going to take some time, so it's going to be fine in this planter. It's just a baby at this point. But this is going to have some beautiful orange blooms, or ginger orange blooms. So we're going to have the great foliage of the Midnight Sun Weigela with the oranges, the purples, and the green. And then we're going to have the green of the lilac with the purple bloom. And then we're going to have this rose that is going to have the orange. So you see how we're tying it all together here with this combination. We're going to have the green, the purple, and the orange. And they're going to be mimicked in each planter. So you'll see the 3 different colors, and that Weigela actually brings it all together with the color combination. So we started with the Weigela, we added the lilac, and then we went in with the rose. And checking on my supervisor there to make sure she's doing all right. That's Poppy, and you probably hear her snoring in this video because she is curled up in my arms like a little baby, snoring away. But there we have it. Again, the Weigela, the little lilac, and the small rose. And we are just going to come in now with some of the Espoma Land and Sea compost and top it up or pack in around the root balls with that. So again, just securing it, making sure everything is tightly in place. And then we will water it in, and the water will make sure that all air pockets have escaped. So when looking at stuff to add to your patio, make sure you include shrubs or small trees or lilacs in this case, little roses. These all will bring color and texture and make it seem like you have an actual landscaped space. And again, just going through, packing around each plant, root ball, and making sure that it is all safely tucked in place. And these will all be safe during the winter outside. So this pot itself is winter resistant. You can, when searching for pots, it'll say whether it's safe to be outside in the winter or not. And here's our second pot. It's a matching pot, but we are going to go in with 3 different types of plants in this one. Again, we're going to start off with the hardwood cedar mulch as just kind of some drainage and some fillage since it's a larger pot. You don't have to do this step. I like this step. You could just go in with all dirt. That wouldn't hurt either. There is a big hole in the bottom for drainage. And again, we're coming in some more of the garden soil. Again, it could be the potting mix. I just bought a few bags of this on air, so I am going to use up what I have. So again, working that down into the mulch to make sure that we have as little sinkage in our pot or planter as possible. And like I said, these are winter resistant pots. So the plants that we're putting in these will stay outside during the winter. And we're going to come in with some of the organic land and sea. Again, use what you have. You could do all potting mix. You could do all of the land and sea, the compost. But we are going to come in again with some biotone. This is a slow release starter fertilizer again, helps root establishment, and will help get your plants going off to a great start. So we are going to go in with this dwarf or small winter gem boxwood. So that'll be green throughout the winter. This is a Kodiak jet black dravella, and the contrast between the foliage on those is beautiful. And then I have just this random plant that I had left from an Easter display. And the name of it escapes me. I apologize. But it is a form of a carnation. But for some reason, I'm not thinking of it. It is a perennial, so it will come back as well. So all 3 of these plants will return. We're going to start off with the small winter gem boxwood. So that'll be nice and green for us to look at during the winter. Again, placing that packing soil around the root ball. And I lost the tag to this. I don't know what I did with it. I think I mistakenly threw it away. But this is, again, a jet black Travella. And this will actually bloom yellow blooms. So I'm pretty excited about seeing that. It's the dark foliage that really gets me. I love it when there are contrasts of foliage and then a bright bloom. So this is not a dwarf. This is one that probably will have to be pruned to stay in this pot, or it might last a couple years and then I transplant it out to something different or a bigger pot on its own. But it is going to add some nice color and texture to my space. So I'm excited to have it and give it a shot. I don't have the tags. I can't tell you what the stats are, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 to 4 foot tall and wide at maturity. But again, this is something that could be cut back, and so we can keep it contained and in a pot. Again, adding more soil, pushing it in around the root balls, making sure it's all tucked in nicely. No air pockets. We don't want anything dying on us. And I assure you, these little snore sounds are not me. They are my dog here as she's curled up in my arms, sleeping away. And like I said, this was a plant that I had left over from like an Easter display. So I thought, why not pop it in? It's going to be a pretty contrast because that has silvery blue foliage with the dark red and the green of the winter gems. And then the bright pop of those flowers, which is this kind of a salmony pink. And then once the jet black starts to bloom, it's going to have yellow blooms. So it'll be this salmony pink and yellow. And again, we're coming in and just making sure the root balls are all secure in there, covered, and ready to thrive. And we will be giving updates on these plants throughout the season. You'll see how they rooted in and how they're doing. But just wanted to get you in on the planting of them. There you have it. The tags that I do have on hand, here is the rose and the Lagella. And the other ones I don't have. You'll just have to look in the video there. I hope this inspires you to plant up some pots.